Hello, everyone, and welcome to Youngstown's Talk Channel here.
Like that new intro music, it's like porn music. Not that I know what that is, and pump,
it's getting the train moving, But welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are the MLO Bros. Luke's over there. I'm Isaac. Joe's over here behind the scenes. You can't really see him. But thank you for joining us, Youngstown's Talk Channel. We are live down here in Youngstown Studio in Youngstown, Ohio. Don't forget, Youngstown Radio is disappearing soon. We are the last bastion, the last hope,
the last castle
of radio. We're not even radio yet, but we're heading in that direction.
How's that going, Joe?
Good.
We're trying
every day until I hear us on the radio.
We are trying to create a Youngstown radio / talk show that runs from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you can turn us on at 9 a.m. and a variety of different people will entertain you till the end of the day at 5 p.m.
Joe had a bunch of good stuff on yesterday. He had Tex Fisher?
Yep.
Who is a Ohio
he's
House.
District 58 in the Ohio House of
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked him because he wasn't hard right. He wasn't he was like right kind of in the middle. And I even called in and asked him a question, which I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
And about the weed stuff.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that a little bit today. I also want to talk about Musk, but he was good. I was trying again, these politicians, they know what they're freaking doing. They're going to answer the way you want them to sometimes, but
right.
And for those of you concerned, I am not in a cutoff shirt today because I had to dress up because I have a house showing as a realtor.
But here's the thing. First week, we're going to have at least one day of 70 degrees. You know what that means.
It's cut off. Sun's out. Did you do it? Look at Isaac. Yeah. Sun's out, guns out, Joe. Sun's out, guns out, Joe. Sun's out, guns out, Joe.
Cutoff season.
Do you own any cutoffs, Joe?
Yeah.
We need to get Joe a cutoff.
We need to put him in one. Just make him one.
And BJ too. BJ in the back. BJ's got to wear one.
We need to change the atmosphere around here.
Yep. We'll go to the gym, start lifting.
Yeah.
Hi, Carter. Good morning, Carter. Good morning, Jeff. We got people watching. These guys are tuning in every day now. We're getting people
Thank you so much for watching. And most important aspect of this show is call in. You can call in and tell us what you're thinking about the topics we discuss. So 330-595-1600. 330-595-1600. Call in. We're watching, waiting for you to call, and you can discuss with us the topics that we are talking about. So what do you want to start, Luke?
I want to start with something that's been bothering me. And I know you're a Musk fan. Is that fair?
I'll give my
I know Joe probably has a shrine in his basement to Elon Musk with like candles constantly burning because he's a huge Musk fan.
Right.
I think regardless of the politics he's been doing lately, I think he has furthered mankind. So I'm a fan.
Okay.
One of the things now that as we get into the politics with Musk is, and it always happens whenever somebody gets involved in politics, people start trying to destroy that person, right?
Yeah.
Because they disagree with what he's doing currently.
Right.
Be it Doge, be it on Trump's side,
right.
All that stuff. So what I'm starting to read now with the Facebook trolls, which is the hard left trying to destroy this man.
Right.
Which again, if they want to talk about him, that's fine. They're allowed. But the thing I'm having a problem with now is they're trying to say he's stealing. He's not coming up with the ideas of his companies. He's stealing it off of his employees.
They'll say he's not even smart. He's
They're
not smart. He's not coming up with any concepts. He's dumb.
Right.
He's not smart. Stop saying he's a genius, a billionaire genius. Stop saying that he's obviously stupid because of his politics.
Because he's dumb. He's dumb. And I keep reading that. And again, one of my counters to that on Facebook when I attack the trolls, even though they say don't attack trolls, I always fight the trolls. Why do you feel that way? And their immediate thing is, well, he hires employees and those employees think of those ideas and he's stealing those ideas from the employees.
Right.
So they're not him. He's just the guy that runs the company. He owns the company and he's stupid.
Yeah.
So Joe, would you like to take this one first?
Sure. I mean, I love the criticism. I mean, honestly, that's what keeps these people honest.
Right.
Keep them on their heels. Make sure we just don't give them blessed power where we, appreciate them so much that we run interference.
Idolizing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, even Freddie and I talked last night. You put somebody in front of databases, and how do you know that they're not planting malware and
now when we're talking about
stuff.
Doge going into the stuff, right?
Exactly. So human nature is we're flawed, and we have to keep it so that we pay attention to people who have the ability to screw people over.
Right. So, but what about the company aspect of it? That's what I want to kind of get into. Now, I've worked in big companies, banking, all kinds of stuff, right? Joe, you own companies.
Yeah.
Is it fair? And again, people at home, call in. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Is it fair to say a person that owns a company doesn't get credit for what that company creates if it's the employees? See what I'm saying?
Does the coach get credit for a successful basketball team, football team? Does the coach, the leader of and then when everything goes wrong, whose shoulders does it fall on? You don't blame the guy at the front desk for the company failing. It's all on the shoulders of leadership, and that's what a good leader does.
I'm just saying that's what people are saying online. Is he's dumb and and the employee he's taking credit for the employees that work for him.
So Musk has what people on the internet, what the trolls don't understand is just you can go watch interviews of him talking and explaining his situation, but they just refuse to listen to him because they are emotionally attached to hating him because of his politics.
Well, it's because they hate Trump. Therefore they hate him.
Right. How many employees? So they say he didn't even do anything with Tesla. It wasn't even his idea. He didn't even come up with it. It's true. He didn't start Tesla technically.
Who started Tesla?
It was so. All Musk did was there were 0 employees. Somebody owned the name Tesla, and the company had 0 employees, and he basically bought it because he wanted that name.
He liked the name. Okay.
So 0 employees when he bought it.
Right.
And then in an interview where he's on Rogan asks him, were there any employees that worked there? Was it anything? Was there any type of blueprint for a Tesla EV? No. So all the trolls that say he didn't think of the idea, okay, well, he didn't think it. He bought the EV company Tesla with 0 employees, but there was no blueprint.
Right.
So he at least came up with the concept, or hired people. Right. He bought the name, hired people who helped him create an EV.
So is it the people? So then the question is it the people or is it Musk that get credit for it? That's what they keep going back to. That's what the people keep going back to. And again, I like Joe.
Yeah.
Your companies. Not to brag about what you do. You do Youngstown Studio, Youngstown Computer, Youngstown Marketing still?
Youngstown Marketing.
Anything else?
I have an investment company where develop small buesses.
Investment company. Anything else? I feel so lazy when I talk. And I went golfing on a Monday yesterday.
Right.
Joe's
doing going a million miles.
So those companies.
Yeah.
How do you set those companies up to succeed? And I know the answer. Like, how do you do it? You have 4 companies. You can't be everywhere. How do you do it?
Right. You hire really smart people, smarter people than you.
Exactly. You know who said that? Who had a good quote was Steve Cross from iSynergy.
Yeah.
Steve, we've had Steve on our podcast a couple of times. He's good friends with him, and he says, my goal as a company owner is to be the dumbest person in the room at all times.
Yeah.
And he goes, because if that's happening, I'm successful.
And it all comes down to attributes, right? Like if you're playing a video game, you put a little bit in charisma, you put a little bit in strength, whatever. A good lead, like everybody has different attributes. I think Elon Musk, to say he's stupid is laughable.
Yeah.
Laughable. I think he is very, very good with logistics and organizing and efficiency. I think he's obviously very smart, very good at engineering, and at least coming up with some of these concepts for his product. Where he's lacking, and it makes total freaking sense, is communication, efficient communication. and he's freaking autistic. So like, what do you?
Was he really?
100% he's autistic. Are you kidding me? He's 100% autistic.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know he's autistic?
Yeah.
He's 100% on the spectrum.
Really?
Which is also laughable from the left because they're the first person when anybody has any type of issue.
Yeah,
they're the first person
I didn't know that.
to defend them, but because they don't agree with him politically, they bash the living crap out of him. He's not good at communicating.
Right. Well,
obviously.
Well, another thing that's kind of popped in my head is they're criticizing him for giving credit, not giving or stealing the ideas of his employees. Right. Yet Tesla stock dropped 6 or 7% yesterday, or something like that. Or something like that. And it's Musk's fault.
Right.
Shouldn't it be the employee's fault?
Yeah.
Right. That was kind of my thought. Like,
right.
so you're gonna blame Musk for when the stocks drop, but you're gonna not give him credit. It should be the
and I'm all for like Joe said, not idolizing people and like bash the leadership in government. Like, go right ahead. I hate people. I can't stand idolizing politicians. I don't think Trump idolizing Trump, idolizing either side.
No, so you can't idolize Trump at all. There's no way you can idolize Trump.
But I get hung up on the stealing part. Like, we're defining this. Like, I don't know of a company where Steve Jobs I want to invent an iPhone. Right. And he hires the best engineers, the best chip makers, the best marketing people and whatever.
Yeah.
And we credit Steve Jobs for organizing those skill sets together to form a company.
Right.
And then Steve Jobs can hold the phone and we say, oh, Steve Jobs invented that, because without him being on that stage, none of those people would have got together and come up with that product idea.
Yeah.
So where's the theft happen in that?
Yeah.
And if they paid for the services of those people, it's not that.
And Jobs was notorious for being an ass.
Yeah,
notorious. He was the boss and nobody likes this boss. You get into an elevator with him. Hey, what do you do for my company? And if you can't tell him what you did for his company, by the time you get off the elevator, he's firing you in that elevator.
Kind of like an email that you sent out to everybody.
So that's the thing. I hate communicators and I hate leadership like that. So I'm the first one to bash Elon. If Elon sends me or you that email, if a manager of our bank, I would send them the time I pooped that morning. I would send them everything I did just to be a smart ass. Like, I would send, woke up 9 a.m., coffee 9:15, took a poop 9:25 to 9:30, went to my computer, sat down. Like, I would send a book to this employer just because you don't lead like that. You do not communicate like that.
Story time real fast. So at our company that we're at, we were having some problems with underwriting. We're loan officers, we're realtors. We were having problems with underwriting, and they got like these new underwriting managers who were having problems. So the company sent my branch, so it's like me, Isaac, Okio. You guys have probably seen him at the show if you've ever watched the MLO Bros. A survey, and it was a blind survey, right? And you like ask you a question, and then we'd have to fill in an answer. And all of us were just like destroyed this survey. Right. And I get a call from the president of the bank. Luke, you understand we know this is your branch doing this, right? I'm like, well, how do you know it's us? Somebody said the word turd in one of the survey things. And I'm like, and they're like, I'm gonna assume it was your brother. And I said, and I'm like, well, you can't prove that. And she goes, well, if there's that many problems, you guys should call. I said, I've been screaming and yelling and doing all this for the longest time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. It's frustrating. But again, if those emails came to us, we do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't like what we don't like is being micromanaged, which is why we do what we do.
But I think leadership communicating like that with its employees, where it's like, we're better than you. What are you doing? You need to be better. And it's like, dude, you obviously, if you're asking that question, you're obviously not doing a good enough job as a leader in knowing what your people are doing.
Correct.
Because you're supposed to be hiring the best and the brightest. Now, he came in and he's trying to get rid of all these people, which I'm totally fine, slash the government, but he's taking like the business approach to government, which I don't know if that's the best choice or not.
Well, I think Trump is doing the same thing with the tariffs and everything. He's trying to strong arm.
The thing is, autistic people and the logically people like Elon,
Yeah.
is they have to make decisions based on data sets and information.
Right.
And when you're dealing with a workforce of 50,000 people or millions of people or whatever,
people, yeah.
you have no information to see who's alive, who's dead, who's doing anything.
Right.
So if I can just throw a bomb out there that's likely to get a positive or negative response,
Yeah.
I start gathering information that you're alive.
But you don't do that. You don't say, tell me everything you're doing.
Tell him, let's consult. How would you have done it where you don't know anybody or workforce is even working anymore?
Right.
How do you get their attention?
First thing you do is you go to your leaders within the organization and you say, listen, this is happening. This is 100% happening. We're cutting people. We're getting rid of people. I need you to get me like information on what each group of whatever you're leading is doing, and I need the best possible like what's working, what's not working, who's being efficient, who's not being efficient, and go from there behind closed doors. You have to handle it behind closed doors.
What if your lieutenants are complicit? What if they're part of the hiding the fact that people are getting paid for doing no work? If you don't trust your lieutenants and you didn't hire your lieutenants,
so you can't say, give me a list of 5. Like I need by the end of the day, I need 5 things. Like you're coming off as an ass. There's
all right, what if you say, tell me what color your underwear is or something? I just need a response that you check your email and you're alive. So anything other than the 5 things that you did today.
Right. There's a better way to write it. I don't even know what that is.
How about just a survey?
Yeah.
Just a regular survey. Tell me about your job, how you do, what's your day like.
Or you come up with some kind of survey where it's like, hey, these are the things you could have done today. Mark 1 that you've done. Like, you know, hey, you have to take, like you said, you have to take this survey by the end of the day. And then it's like, okay, mark 1 of these things that you've done to help the company.
So you're saying those emails went out just to even see if people were
alive. Yeah. They were thinking a bunch of people that went to work from home continue to collect a paycheck and are doing other jobs and aren't in front of a computer.
I guarantee that's going on.
For sure. So that was the first, this was the are you alive email,
right?
Is what it was. It probably could have been more strategic,
right?
But that's what the intent
was. It could have been more efficiently communicated so that you don't come off like, if he would have done it the right way, he wouldn't have gotten nearly as much pushback.
What if you wanted that though? What if that was strategy?
What he became was the annoying bad manager.
All right,
he was going to become that regardless.
Hold on.
Yeah, he was going to have that.
So you have government employees that are incredibly hard to fire. You know you need to get rid of 80% of them, and it's going to be incredibly difficult to get rid of them. So you piss them off, so the ones that hate you anyway quit because of that stupid email. That might be a solid strategy if you want people to leave. Which did happen
too. People did quit because of that email.
Yeah, no doubt.
Call in. Tell us what you think. 330-595-1600. Call in. Give us your opinion on Musk. Give us your opinion on anything that's happening in the world right now. We'll hear you out. But for the left to just blindly call him stupid, like you could break it down to solely achievements for anyone that's ever been great in history. From, like you said, Edison. Like,
well, that's what this all goes back to. Right. Joe made a post on over the weekend, Saturday, I think Saturday, that you called Elon Musk the Thomas Edison of our time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I woke up, I was drinking my coffee, and I spit my coffee out because I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna
somebody's calling in.
Oh, I was like, this is gonna be fantastic. This one, Joe. Yeah,
I got it.
But no, I want to do it, Joe.
Let Joe handle it.
Stop being a manager, Joe.
Let Joe do it.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's up?
Hey, man, I wanted to ask you guys how you feel about the $75 an hour police videos.
Oh, yeah, dude. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I read this too.
Dude, this pisses me off so bad. Okay.
$75 an hour. Caller, can you explain what you're talking about?
So the state passed some kind of law that said if you're trying to get police videos or any kind of information like police videos from the police, like dash cams, body cams, they can charge you $75 an hour up to $750.
Whoa. Basically charging you for the Freedom of Information Act that I use all the time on the MLO Bros. So whenever I order like footage, like I did something on Struthers one time, the Struthers Police Department, when they pulled the guy over, and I actually helped the Struthers Police Department because they were taking slack for giving somebody towing somebody's car that didn't have expired plates.
Yeah.
$75. Guess who the first department in our area to say they're going to charge? Poland. No. Youngstown. Immediately out of the gate. First department that says they're going to charge $75 if you request a body cam.
Caller, tell us what you think about this, why you think it's wrong, and then we'll give our opinion. We'll let you go and we'll give our opinions. What do you think?
I think it's terrible, man. I think that it's putting like up a brick wall from the public who can't really afford it. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're paying taxes anyway, man. Yep. So, you know, give us what we want to see. They're public servants.
Absolutely, man.
So, all right,
caller, what was your name?
Oh, my name's Sam.
Sam, thanks for calling in, dude. We'll cover it right now. Good call, dude. Good topic.
All right, man. Yep.
All right. So I don't know if you guys know this or not. I love to do Freedom of Information requests. I love it. I do it all the time. It helps us with our show. It helps us with our different stuff. I did one for Poland. I would say I am friends with the chief at Poland Township and Poland Village, Lambert and them. Chief Wilson, I did a request. There was a car that drove into a house and it was like a drug deal, and I requested the video. Okay.
I'm gonna get some ice.
He and the cops were so pissed at me. Okay. Because the amount of time it takes to do that. And the reason being he was pissed is because him, the secretary, and like 4 other cops, there was like 20 hours of tape from each cop, right? That had the dash cam footage. The prosecutors required them to what's it called? Redact any pads of paper, anything in the cars, people's names, teenagers' faces. And the prosecutors don't do it. The police departments do it.
Right.
He was so pissed at me because he said it took them days and 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 days to do this. Right. And basically I was taking away from the time that those guys could be on the streets is what he was telling me. So that was the counter to that. Was it's like, if I got to pay somebody to do it, I'm going to have to I have to cut the money has to come from somewhere. But like the caller said, dude, my tax dollars pay for you to do that.
Here's where it's gumming it up is that you have influencers that you can use for Freedom of Information Act to get body cam footage to make money on YouTube, and they're abusing it. They're not pulling it for reasons why oversight or looking into it. They're, you know, and like you were saying, the police department has like 2 people dedicated to just redacting video.
Right.
There's a cost in that. And should we be supplying a commercial product to people who are just using it to make money on YouTube?
See, that's the problem. But again, now you're affecting people who really
need it.
Really need it. Like I had a family member who got pulled over, right? And I requested it for them so they could show it to their lawyer, which the lawyer would have got eventually anyways. But I got it so we could see it, you know, and do the body cam footage. And it worked. It helped. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I still think the freaking cops didn't give me all of the freaking footage. I think they edited out some stuff. I truly believe that, but it was another story for another day. But I'd be guilty of that. When I pulled that stuff for Struthers, when they pulled that guy over, and I was 100% using it for views. I mean, 100%.
Right.
100%. I made a clip video.
If they split it off and they said anybody, and I think they mentioned this in the article, if it's to review a case where you're doing actual investigation, free. But if it's commercially used, put a commercial copyright or rider on it so that the police can claw that money back.
Wayne says police video should be free under the Freedom of Information Act. He also says transparency. We the people deserve transparency. 100%, Wayne.
Is it a max 750? Is that
750? Yeah.
So my question,
you know they're gonna then if I request something, I'm gonna pay 750. You 100% know they're gonna max that out. Just to be stupid.
Oh, especially it's a day's worth of work.
Yeah.
And the question is, where is the most police interaction? Where is the most police interaction going to be coming from?
Traffic stops.
Traffic stops, but like, where's that going to happen the most? Where is there going to be the most cam footage coming from?
Crime areas?
Which is where?
Youngstown? Which
is also, what's the income levels in those areas?
Low income areas.
So my thing is, you putting that number on it is going to be, okay, if the most interaction is going to be happening in the hood, with where the people have the least amount of money, where the people can't afford to pay $20 to get cam footage, let alone $750.
Yeah.
So you're directly impacting the people who would need that cam footage the most if they think that it's shady. Because in those areas, you're going to have the most cops. And I have cop buddies. The difference between the way a cop treats a person in Poland than a cop treats a person in the hood where they're dealing with crackheads all day or whatever.
100%.
So they're going to be tougher.
Yep.
And on those people that they're policing and treat them differently. And over time and dealing with crackheads all day or whatever all day, you're eventually going to become hardened and eventually do something stupid in the hood. And I feel like those people in the hood need it more than the people in freaking Poland who can afford buying the cam footage versus the people in the hood who cannot afford $750 to get that cam footage and take it to court and be like, listen, this is wrong and this happened to me.
But there is such, like Joe said, there is such
modern day redlining. Actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, it should be free. Ashley says it should be free for individuals related to a case, but influencers looking for random videos to make money should be limited.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, you could do YouTubers who are just taking it to get cam footage. Absolutely not. But listen, I was in an interaction with a cop and I think something bad happened to me and I want that cam footage. That's different than a YouTuber.
Yeah,
for sure.
That should be
but they're going to charge.
Yeah,
man.
they freaking roughed me up. I want that cam footage, and they're like, oh, you have to pay $700. I don't have $750 to give you.
You can blame the Republicans for this one because this is the Republicans doing
and
this.
Any single time, as I'm telling you, as a libertarian, basically, majority of the time, I'm libertarian views. The second you give the government power like this, they will never give it back ever.
Yep.
And then you have stupid lawyers getting involved, and they'll just go to their legal team and be like, oh, well, this time we can use our rule with not allowing to collect or paying for cam footage on this and this and this. And like you said, every single time they're going to be hitting you with $750.
We are. And I'll say, with the Poland Village, the freaking lawyer in that place, he purposely makes it impossible for us to get like we'll ask for a document.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't detailed. He tries to follow the rules because he's a freaking can't swear. I can't swear.
That was good. Fricking's all right.
No, I was going to say the D word. I was going to call him a male member because he is, in my opinion. I don't want to get sued because he'd probably sue me if I stated he actually was.
But what you're essentially doing is your incentive, if you charge, they're going to hit you with $750 every time. Over time, if everyone eventually figures out that it's $750 if you want to request that information, the less and less people are going to request it.
That's the goal.
So you're punishing 100%. People for doing
that's the goal,
which is not good.
Yeah,
you need transparency.
Yep. And these Republicans are not our grandparents' Republicans. It's some twisted version of theatric oligarchy.
We can argue about that if you want to.
What the hell does that mean, Joe? I need your intelligence there.
Here, I'll ask
theocratic
oligarchy.
He went way too smart for me on a freaking Tuesday morning there. Theocratic oligarchy.
Google theocracy refers to religion or some kind of dogmatic
oligarchy. Anytime you have garky, it's going to be like kings and queens.
Anytime you have garky.
It's a fancy word for kings and queens and
religious
authoritarian government where they basically God chose them to lead us.
Okay. All right. Ashley, how did we do with that definition? Sorry. She even stumped Joe.
Theocratic oligarchy. Ashley, come on. Tell us where you got that.
Come on, Ashley, look at us.
CNN told you that one, didn't they? Who on CNN said theocratic oligarchy that you picked up and regurgitated? Be honest with me.
Maybe Ashley's really smart.
You read that in a book.
You got there. Yes. Thank you, Ashley. We got there.
I read about it in a book.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, while we're talking about the theocratic oligarchy of the Republicans in Ohio, I called in yesterday when Tex was in here. But is his name really Tex?
I think so.
I think that can't be his real name.
It has to be.
Think he popped out as a baby and his mom's like, "We're naming him Tex."
In that accent.
His name's Tex.
I mean, Tex Fisher. He's gonna be a house.
He's gonna lead the people.
Tex Fisher.
And his brother, Colt 45 Fisher.
But then you look at him, he's got like he's how old? He's got to be younger than I. Like,
yeah, I bet she's 30s.
30s, and he's got like real like he's like a kid, and then it's like, hey, my name's Tex Fisher. Anyways, the freaking House Republicans pissed me off. They pissed me off.
What'd they do that pissed you off?
So remember that whole the weed law that they passed?
Yeah, this is the state of Ohio.
Yeah, I can read it if you don't care. If I Google this real quick. So it was issue 2, weed. Let's do
Joe, there's hairs in my water. Why is there hairs?
Real fast here.
There's a hair in there?
All right. So in 2023, recreational marijuana legalization. Ohio voters approved issue 2. You guys remember this? You're allowed to possess 2.5 ounces of cannabis, 15 grams of cannabis concentrates, home cultivation, 6 per plant, 6 per person. So you can grow weed in your backyard.
Yeah.
Maximum 12 plants per household. 10% sales tax to the towns where it's located. Employers can still prohibit marijuana use. Freaking Republicans.
So the people voted, the people spoke that they want weed.
Correct. The people spoke that they wanted
majority
weed. It
said,
was 58 to like 42 or something like that.
Yep.
So across the board, okay, the Republicans try to pass. It was HB 160. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. So this is just recent. I think they did pass it, but I'm actually not sure. It was introduced in March 2025 by Republican Brian Stewart, updating the Ohio law that was passed by the people. It's going to cap the amount of weed that can be in there. It's going to lower the amount of plants per household. You're no longer allowed to consume it in public like you're allowed now.
Yeah.
And it's going to also limit Delta 8 THC, which is like
going into effect.
I don't know if it passed or not. Oh, and those a-holes tried to the 10%.
Yeah.
They tried to get it away from the local towns and push all the money to the state.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's so lame.
That's so ridiculous that they can do that.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell do you think you
Especially
are?
when the people voted. Yeah. Like what we have to do and what the people have to do is remember that. Like, you as voters, you chose 58 to 42 that weed's cool. People should be able to do all the things that they want recreationally with weed.
Okay, it hasn't passed yet. It's a waiting committee assignment.
So if they pass that, they are going against what you as voters said, what we as voters said, and they're doing their own thing. What that means is next time any of those people, you need to take a freaking list. Any of those people that want to pass that, gone.
Yeah,
gone.
Crazy.
The only people that are going to want to keep them are the crazy alt-right people that are like, I don't want drugs. My argument would be, listen, the people voted that you should let weed be a thing in Ohio, and now you're going against what we think. I want all of you on camera to smoke a blunt. Every single one of these elected officials,
yeah.
I think if you haven't tried weed, I want them to try it, because obviously a majority of the people want it to be a thing.
Where
did it chill them out?
Where do these people, these elected people, and it's all the Republicans. It's a lot of the Republicans.
100%.
Why do they how do they feel? And Joe, I mean, help me out here. How is an elected official, and I called Tex and asked him this, and he said he wanted to research it more. Do you feel you can override a state mandate, like a approved law, a policy that the people voted on? Like, right. How you're saying the people are dumb, they don't know what they want. We're smarter than you.
Yeah,
we're gonna fix
which
this.
Goes against everything the founding fathers wanted in a country.
Correct.
Like everything.
Correct.
Against, yeah.
I mean, right?
Well, they are free to regulate it. So passage means that it passes the legal versus illegal portion of it, and then regulators step in and make adjustments to either curtail it or expand it or whatever.
You sound like a corrupt lawyer.
You
sound like a corrupt lawyer. Like, the people voted this way, but technically we have the right to tell them what they can and can't do, because all we're doing is regulating. That's like, so then it comes down to the interpretation of regulation.
Yes, exactly.
But like the lawyers are like, well, technically we are interpreting it this way. So even though the people want this, we can
but it's
finagle
not
it in a way.
interpretation. It's not interpretation. It's not like Poland Village where they interpret a law that says, which by the way, Poland Village does this all the time.
Yeah.
They interpret a law so they can weasel it into their own
Yeah.
little rule.
Well, wait,
That's exactly what they're
you
doing
said-
now.
Yeah.
That's
what-
exactly
what-
what
They're just changing it. They're straight up changing it.
What you said is the counterpunch. So if they make regulations that changes the
Yeah.
the thing of the law, then you vote them out, and then
Yeah,
it
you
becomes
100%
a
have
death
to.
sentence.
You got to write down all those names. All those
Anybody-
names.
yeah.
See ya.
Seriously, anybody, any Republican that votes for that, I am going to freaking
Right. Yeah.
seriously.
So Sam
Absolutely trying to
says,
hammer it.
so if they want to ring camera because the old lady got robbed across the street, can I charge them 100? I would say that would be my argument for
100%.
one day.
Right?
Yeah.
I would say, oh, that's, you know what? That's so expensive. It's going to cost you $5,000.
But they're gonna
You
go to
don't work
court.
for free, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. They're going to go to court and get a freaking court order to get it, right? Can they do that?
Yeah, they can use the law against you.
They
for
can use the
sure.
law
That's such BS, dude. That's so
Yeah.
bad. So Kaylin says, serious question, is there something that we can do about the smell? There has got to be a way to make it smell. Every single time I smell weed in public, every single time I smell weed in public, I harass the person smoking next to me. I say, oh, that is some dank weed. I was like, I don't know who's smoking that in here, but like I harass the person. If there's somebody next to me that smells like weed, like, good Lord, what kind of stuff? Where did you get that? So you just say it to like everyone, and everybody's looking around like you guys smell that too, right? That is some dank ganja.
Now, if they said gummies only, they got rid of the smokable side or tinctures or something like that, would you be?
I would say
okay
go
with
back.
that?
What does the law I
does the law
signed
say?
say?
I think you're allowed to smoke in public, right? No, you're not.
No. So if I have to put up with your smells, but I don't have to put up with it, you do gummies. That's
Right.
fair. You get your weed.
Is it
and
illegal to take to be high in public right now? No.
I would say it should be the same with alcohol. If you're publicly intoxicated or you can't control yourself, you shouldn't be driving a car. Stuff like that.
And we have experience in that.
Yeah, I was going to say. So could I have been arrested when I had
Yeah.
my little incident?
Yeah.
No, you weren't driving.
I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
I was totally out of
Yeah. Totally out of control. That was bad.
control. If you don't know what we're talking about, you can watch it on the MLO Bros. It's
Right,
called The
right, right.
Incident.
So
well, here's the other thing
just
too.
a lot. It actually says a lot of skunks in Ohio. 100%.
I mean, the smell's bad, and like,
But the thing is, the argument would be for those people is smoking it hits you differently and quicker and gets into your blood faster than a gummy, because a gummy takes like 45 minutes.
Dude.
It took Luke 45 minutes to lose his ever-living mind.
but the gummies are more potent.
Yes.
And the gummies, I read about it. I did some research after that happened to me.
Right.
The gummies are,
Concentrated.
but they get absorbed into your body different than
Yes.
than smoke,
Yeah.
and it hits you way harder.
And you have the capability of having a full-on psychotic break, which I do believe you were having. Psychosis is what the
that
term.
was because of some of the other stuff.
I
was-
do believe you entered into psychosis
Weed.
when
I saw my
when you
grandma.
were seizing and going,
I saw my grandma. I saw grandma. I
Joe's
was like,
car, and I was trying to hold on to
talking
your
about-
life.
For
I'm
science.
like, Joe, he's so strong. Keep driving. He's so strong.
I saw grandma. Is weed legal to smoke in public?
Ashley says there's just so many loopholes in government. Even when we enshrine abortion rights in Ohio's constitution, they're still looking for ways to get rid of it or adjust it. Yeah, I can't stand lawyers because of that.
Well, they do that
Because
on
they
purpose.
just like, oh, if you interpret it this way, and then you interpret it this way, and then you interpret it this way, it's like, that's obviously not what we voted for and what we wanted. But you're using the law and your book of arguments
Poland,
to make
again,
it your
because
way.
because I lived there and you lived there at the time.
Right.
Poland Village has done that over and over. They did it with the Airbnb. Remember the Airbnb?
Right.
They've done it over and over and over.
using
trying-
legal jargon to
using laws that don't apply to something, and they warp it to
Yeah.
make it see. And because basically, someday one of these people are going to have money
yeah.
and sue, and they've lost a couple times in
Right,
court because
right.
of that. I mean, they're going to lose because they do this stuff.
Wayne said, I just got back from Denver. It reminded me of Hershey, PA, where the whole town smells like chocolate, except everywhere in Denver smelled like weed.
Because it's totally legal in there.
Right. Yeah. I think harder stuff in Denver is legal. I think like they got shrooms out there,
Yeah.
All right. So,
which you can't smell shrooms.
okay,
so that's
Ohio.
nice.
Okay, Ohio. Here's the rules on smoking in public. Smoking in public places is prohibited. Wait, smoking marijuana in public places is prohibited. This includes public indoor spaces, streets, parks, vehicles. Violating this is a minor misdemeanor. Permissible locations for consumption: private residences, designated smoking areas. Some private establishments may permit marijuana. They have those?
Yeah. On patios, outdoor stuff.
Really?
Absolutely.
So I would just say it would be great to find a way. So the problem is people are still going to like to consume weed by rolling it and smoking it. And that in public, I would say you probably, if people around you can smell it and are getting like a secondhand high, that's not necessarily a good thing. I think you should be like, you can do vapes, you can do weed pens,
That would be illegal. Vapes would be illegal in public.
You can still smell a little bit too.
While recreational marijuana use is legal for adults age 21 and over in Ohio, consuming cannabis products, including gummies, in public spaces is prohibited.
Oh shit! You could have gotten in trouble.
Private residences, designated private establishments. But who's to say when I took it though? I could have taken it at home and then walked out the door.
Yeah, that's true too. Especially when it hits you 45 minutes later.
Can you be high?
Well, I think that would be like the open container thing, where if you actively have it in your pocket and you're driving around, you assume you took it because you have it on you.
Right. No, but but the same thing is like if you have 6 beers at the bar and then you go to the park and punch a guy in the face because you're hammered, there's still public intoxication.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the exact same thing. So here we go. Public consumption is illegal. Public intoxication goes back to that. Disorderly conduct, appearing in public under the influence of cannabis to the extent that it impairs one's ability to care for oneself or possess a risk to others. I would say I was probably
so then that's the interpretation, right? So the interpretation comes down to, okay, Luke, was it? And you'd have to argue in a court if somebody.
That's where they're gonna have to prove.
So the argument would come down to, was it a medical thing or were you just abusing cannabis and being an idiot?
Right.
So you would argue, no, it wasn't the cannabis. It was the other stuff that I had no idea that I was taking for my weight loss or whatever, and then mixing it with cannabis, which is what screwed me up.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's stupid interpretation.
What do you guys think of weed? Anybody call in?
Call in. Tell us what you're thinking today. 330-595-1600. Also, there are 30 people watching right now. We only have 3 likes. If you could go down below, give us a like, give us a follow Youngstown Studio, follow the MLO Bros. Call us. Luke and I are both loan officers. We're real estate agents. If you want to buy a house, if you need financing, if you want to sell your house, call us. Also, if you want to start a podcast, Youngstown Studio, call Joe. He will help you do this right here.
You do that, right?
He offers the service of you coming in here. He'll set you up with a podcast, and you can talk about how much you hate the MLO Bros live on the air. And Joe will help you. Just remember, bring your own ice as well as your own bubble machine, because Joe does not like ice. So I have to bring my own.
It is weird how he doesn't have an ice machine.
Bring my own baggies of ice each day.
Did you really bring your own
because
ice?
he does not. He does not provide you with ice. I think it's more ice? I think it's criminal.
Can I have some more ice?
It's like, oh, I'm just European. I'm European, even though I've never. I don't like ice.
Wayne says, how can they test if you're high and driving? With alcohol, we have breathalyzers. I don't think people should be high and driving. They'd probably do it just like they do the, stand on one foot, look at your pupils, touch your nose. If you're really hammered.
I'm pretty sure that if somebody's high, there are some people who smoking weed reacts differently to everybody, to different people compared to alcohol. I feel like alcohol, everybody kind of goes in the same direction. Some people react very differently to weed. Like some people, it zones people in. They can focus better. Some people, like me, I'm a freaking paranoid mess. Like,
so if I walk up to your car and I suspect that you're high on it, if it's Luke, he's punching things inside the car. It's you think the aliens are invading. Right. Like we could test you.
Right.
All the personalities.
They're like, officer.
I would say one pizza reviewer is he's very giggly when he gets high.
Oh yeah,
he's very giggly when he gets high. Very.
You guys get when you get pulled over and you're not high or not drunk, do you get nervous?
100%. Yeah,
trouble speaking and whatever.
100%, and that's only natural. And I remember being 20 or 21 and picking up a girlfriend who was drinking, and there was a party, and I was just picking her up, doing the right thing so that she wouldn't drive home. The cop pulled me over. And then he said, I want to check your car. And I said, you're not doing that. And I said, why are you checking my car? And he says, you seem nervous. And it's like, isn't that so back then I was like, all right, I'm not letting you search my car, but if you want to bring out a dog or something and sniff, I don't have anything in my car.
Yeah.
I'm doing the right thing, officer.
Right.
I'm picking up my girlfriend who was drinking,
Right.
and it's a house in this neighborhood, and that's what I'm doing. So it's only natural for me to be nervous in that situation because you're interrogating me.
Well,
right
how old
now.
were you?
Like 20.
Yeah, 100%.
So looking back, I should have not incriminated myself and say it's only natural for somebody to be nervous when they get pulled over.
Yeah,
but
well, you're 21
like,
too. I bet now you'd be a little bit different. Wouldn't you?
Oh, 100%. I'd be a little different.
I have a camera. I have cameras in my car. Well, you have your car, but I bought the the dash cam that does front, back, sides. So if I ever get pulled over, I'm ready. I mean, not saying that like I've never had any problems. Well, I can't say I've never had any problems. I was probably 25, 26 years. Story time again, Isaac. Yeah. 25, 26. Hammered out of my mind. The girl I was dating, no, I'm not 25, probably 23, 22.
Yeah.
Girl at the time I was talking to, totally sober, driving me home down Route 7. Yeah. Get pulled over by a state cop. Get pulled over by a state cop. She had nothing to drink. I was hammered out of my mind. I'm just sitting there. She gives him the ID. She gives him all the stuff. He's like, I need you to get out of the car. Gives her the thing, right? The whole test. I'm towing your car. She's showing signs of being drunk. We're going to go down to the station. She had nothing to drink, not a drop.
Yeah.
You can imagine drunk Luke at 22's reaction to this. I went out of my freaking mind. I ended up in handcuffs in the back of the squad car while they took us down to the police.
Because you did the right thing.
Because and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I did the right thing, and it was a young cop, probably my age.
Right.
Where we get our stuff from, I call our father, and he comes down. She blows nothing, and it turned into an absolute it's like 2 a.m. My dad and I the cop threatened that. So Pop's like, you arrested these people. You profiled them because they're young.
Yeah.
I'm going to have your badge. Cop says to Pop, as we're walking out, the cop says to Pop, Mr. Schuster, I'll see you out in the road real soon.
Yeah. Like threatening him. Yeah.
Threatens him. Okay. Pop goes ballistic.
Yeah.
The Beaver boys are holding my dad back.
Yeah.
The cop's just standing a little short smirk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm behind this cop. I'm behind
short man complex.
Yeah, exactly. I'm behind. I'm behind. I'm drunk out of my mind. I'm behind my dad. Pop is I'm like, hey, you little prick, I will beat your. Why don't you take your? He starts taking his badge off. I'm like, dude, I will be like,
That's the type of guy you don't want to be a cop.
Yeah, because he starts taking his badge off. He's like, I was like, dude, you're so far. Literally escalates out of control. We get into the Beaver boy, the Beaver Police Department's there. They split everybody up.
This was not Beaver Township Police Officer. This was a state hoopy, right?
This is a state hoopy, but we were at the Beaver Township
barracks,
which we.
But we don't want to. We don't want to.
It was a state.
Beaver
This is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Who knows? So, anyways, this Pop goes to the barracks the next morning. Because he's like us. I mean, he's not going to stop at this point, right? Because he got insulted and everything else. Goes to the barracks, talks to the commander. The guy was a week on the job. That cop.
Oh no!
The cop was a week on the job, and the sergeant is like, "Look, you can press. We could go through this. He's probably going to lose his badge. He's probably going to lose." And my dad's like, "Pop's like, I don't want to do that to him.
Right?
I want him to call me and apologize.
Hell yeah!
And I want a written apology, from him,
so I can put it on my fridge."
Exactly. So the cop had to call Pop and apologize, and then he got a written letter apologizing. And I was like, "That is fantastic," but it's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's
in a society that loves to dig their feet into the ground and never admit they're wrong. There is something truly special about forcing somebody to tell you they're sorry.
100%.
There is something truly special about somebody through their work place of employment being told, hey, you got to call and apologize. And then sitting there on the other side of the front being like, it's okay, buddy. It's all right.
Wait,
it's okay.
I had something worse at work one time. I said some mean things on an email and on a phone call to some people at work. President of the bank calls me all pissed off. Like, why would you say this? How could you do it? Blah, blah, blah. I'm so disappointed in you, right? I'm like, I'm really sorry. I said, I'll call and apologize. I will. And what does she say? She goes, I don't want you to call and apologize. I'll call and apologize
Yeah.
for you. And I was just like, oh, that's so much
You don't
work.
do anything.
I was like,
I'll
that
take
is
care.
so much
And
work.
this is one of the only bosses I've ever seen truly lead Luke and absolutely gain Luke's respect.
Yep.
And one of the best bosses I've ever worked for was a female.
Well, she's the best.
She's
one of the best.
led by example, led through work ethic, and like let Luke do his thing and truly listen to all of the good ideas Luke had, while also whenever he did anything wrong,
she'd pull on my leash.
She'd pull on the leash and she'd be like, you like scolded him behind closed doors in a way that wasn't like you're an idiot, blah, 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 but you messed up because of A, B, C, and D. You're better than that. I know you're better than that. And then when Luke tried to apologize, she's like, I need time. You go over there and go back to work. I'm going to fix your mistakes. So you go over there and you sit in the corner and you think about your mistakes because I'm going to fix them for you because I'm a good boss.
Yeah.
And Luke's like, okay.
I learned a lot. That was Jody. I learned a lot.
Jody's a freaking
I learned a lot.
superhero.
Yeah, I learned
and
a
it's
lot
not even like that's the type of woman in leadership that I can absolutely respect because it has nothing to do with her being a woman.
No,
she's just strong, knows her stuff, and leads by example.
Yeah.
Like that's doesn't complain about the glass ceiling, just gets out there and kicks ass.
Yep.
Like that.
And honestly, our president now, Mary, is just the same way too. I respect her 100%. I mean, I have no problem. I have no problem with female boss. I have no problem with female bosses.
Absolutely not.
100%.
No. It's not the female aspect that makes you great or weak, like good or bad. It's
how you lead.
Get out there and be a good leader.
Yep. 100%.
And she's awesome.
We got a bunch of comments.
Dennis says, was the officer Mitch the one at Beaver with the list?
It was not. The Beaver Police Department's great. We actually have family.
No, and I live in Beaver, and I love them. And
it was
they're
a
awesome.
state hoopy 25 years ago.
Yeah, it was a state highway patrolman that brought Luke and his girlfriend to Beaver because that's where he was from.
Yeah, who knows how.
Brian says there were a couple of Poland cops like that back in the day, just harassed the death out of students.
Poland, in defense, I know Poland takes a lot of heat.
Luke lives in Poland now.
They take a lot of heat from the past of like pulling over people and all. It's since they've gotten the two new police chiefs, Chief Wilson in the township and police and Chief Lambert. They are so much more laid back. They are so much more friendly.
Yeah.
They don't pull people over for going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Like a perfect example of the old Poland village was they were required. They had like the old state highway patrolman uniforms and like enforced that and were very strict and over the top.
Yeah, they're so much more laid back now.
They're dead to me because of how many times they've harassed me.
Did they harass you?
Oh my goodness,
dude! They followed.
They were the worst. So I just don't go through there, and they
still. How long ago was it? How long ago was it?
Oh, probably 15 years.
See, that was the old one.
When I moved in, so this was, I think, the old police chief was gone 2021.
20. Yeah.
So but I bought my condo in Poland in 2019. They literally followed me home probably the first month of me being there because I have an all black car, like completely blacked out. And they're like, what's this dude doing here? I don't recognize that car, but my car kind of stands out. Followed me home for a month. And then after that, it got to the point where they're following me home so much. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? You obviously know I live here. Run my plate again. I live on Massachusetts Avenue. Leave me alone. And so then it gets to the point where I'm waving to them so that they actually
They did give you a ride home that one time.
Oh yeah, that was great.
You were drunk. He was drunk
during COVID, middle of lockdown. So we're not even allowed to be outside. I'm standing in the middle of Poland. I walk home from my buddies who lives on the other side of Poland. We had a couple of drinks. He just broke up with his girlfriend in the middle of COVID. So I'm walking home in the middle of the street of 224. I'm standing, like I walk out and walk through the center X of Poland through the light. And I'm like, there's nobody on the road. There's 0 people. I've never seen Poland like this. So I walk across the street. Cop pulls up next to me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm wearing shorts and a coat. I'm like, officer, I did the right thing. Parked my car at my buddy's house. He broke up with his girlfriend. I was just going over there to console him. So he had a couple drinks. I'm walking back to my house. I live on Massachusetts Avenue. He's like, you're drunk? I'm like, yeah, I'm drunk, but I'm walking home, trying to get home. he's like, that is so dumb. You do realize COVID. I'm like, I understand. I just tried to do the right thing and I'm trying to get home. He's like, get in. And so I go to the passenger seat, get in the passenger. He's like, you got to get in the back, dude. I'm like, okay. So I hop in the back.
See, they were just dicks. I mean,
What did they do to you?
it just a bunch of stuff. Like one of them was my birthday's in winter, so I don't put my tag on my license plate until there's not salt and it doesn't fall off. There used to be nonsense.
That's such a Joe thing. Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm driving, and obviously they pull me over because it looks like I have an expired tag. And he comes up to the window and said, "So your license isn't registered?" I was like, "No, I register. I just didn't put the tag on yet." He was like, "I know that already, and I could give you a ticket right now." And that's that attitude is what does it for me.
The attitude.
It's the I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
Exactly.
Here. The other thing is
condescending bullshit.
Yeah, the condescending. I'm better than you, and then they hate being met with that. No, I'm actually in charge of you because I pay your bill.
And I'm sure they never hear that.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I had the same thing. I remember growing up once getting pulled over, and I didn't put that sticker on yet, and they like make you get out of the car. Like, sir, I have it right here. I just have to put it on. Get out of the car and put it on, and I'm gonna watch you put it on.
Are you serious?
They're dicks. That's why.
But like every interaction I've had, well, other than the one with the state cop, has been good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I fender bender, I bumped into somebody, got pulled. The cops were very nice. They were always very nice.
Yeah.
Now, again, maybe it's when we're younger. They give us more grief. Is that fair? When you're in your 20s, you know what I mean? They're thinking they're going to get attitude. I don't know.
Well, I have zero good interactions with Poland.
Really?
Every one of them were effing bad.
Wow, we gotta get Chief Wilson on here and Chief Lambert on
here.
here.
I would love to confront the people.
Yeah, we should get them on
this trauma. I mean,
it wouldn't be them, but they would because they weren't there.
If they apologize, I'll start driving through the city. But until then,
they're
not inviting
the
me
best
back.
thing I learned I was ever taught about and Colin, give us your best police story. Colin, and tell us. Best thing I ever learned was from a high school teacher that said, whenever you're getting pulled over, especially in a town, the best thing to do is give them like one of these. Like, I know I'm getting pulled over. I see the lights on. Like, give them one of these and go into a parking lot where you're not on the side of the road and they are safe. So, like, if you're getting pulled over in Youngstown, pull into the parking lot into like just a parking spot.
Right.
And then when they come up to you, why did you not pull over on the side of the road? Well, officer, I just wanted to make sure you were safe. I know the side of the road sometimes, it can be crazy. So I wanted you to be in a good, and like, we're in a parking lot and it's safe and you're not trying to battle traffic. And he's like, you know what? I appreciate that. Every single time I've done that, I got out of a ticket. Every single time. Once in Beaver, once in Springfield.
I would say that
once in Poland, but it works every
also
single time
let people go. I think if you live in the city that you're getting pulled over, and I think they let you go more often.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I think that happens a lot too.
And then the other thing is like attorney Dave Beatrice has done YouTube video or on his Instagram. He did "This is what you do when you get pulled over," and most educational video that everybody should watch. Like you're 10 and 2 because they have no idea who they're approaching.
Yeah, right.
So you're 10 and 2 until they get to the car and they instruct you on what to do, or you say, "Hey, I'm going to go into my pocket and get my license. Is that cool? I'm going to go into my glove box and get my stuff. Is that cool?" Like you have to be. They deserve at least a little bit of respect because they're doing a job that I would never want to do and none of us would ever want to do.
Right.
So they deserve at least a little bit of respect.
100%.
Make their job easier and then they might be nice.
Correct. Don't be an ass.
I wouldn't be one of the guys that like just roll your window down like an inch and hand out your stuff. Like I would never do. Like that is such a bad approach to that.
Right.
I know I don't answer questions. You ever see
that? Up the paper.
I don't answer questions. Like seriously, like that's what you're gonna
license and registration. I don't have to give that to you. Like, why would you do this? Just give them your license, bro. Why would you do that?
The sovereign.
Why am I being pulled over? Right. It's like, goodness gracious, that guy can kill you.
Okay, wait. So we got
Kaylin says some people think you can just sleep it off in your car. Don't drive, but instead sleep in your car.
Nope.
I've heard you can still get a DUI if you have access to your keys, even if you aren't planning to drive. So the tale as old as time that I was always told was if you're going to sleep in your car,
put your keys in your
put
trunk.
your keys in your gas tank holder thing.
So you don't have your keys on.
So technically it's not in your car. Fair. It's on the outside.
Fair.
So that's, and then you sleep in your back seat. And then if you ever they say, my keys aren't in my car, sir. Where are they? Well, let me show you.
Yeah, right. Sarah, you have a work question. You can ask us a work question. Sarah also says, but first, is Isaac on a real shirt? The reflection from the white is blind. She's talking about your very white arms, I'm sure.
They're pretty white.
They're super white.
The guns.
They're super white.
So
Super
white.
white. Looks like you're getting a shave. Let's see here. What else? Nope, that just happened to me. A guy was pissed at me for going to a lot in Poland. So he pulled over to a lot in Poland. The guy got mad at him.
Who's Dave said that?
Yeah, it's probably
No.
the same dick who was like, "You pull over right now,
Right,
I can give you a ticket for evading."
Yeah, no, but in that
10,000.
situation,
What? Oh,
There's 20,000. Joe's getting us fined more than we are.
Dave, in that situation though, I would there is nothing. If somebody gets mad at you, there is nothing better than somebody freaking out on you and just remaining calm and looking at them and letting them lose their mind. Because if a cop were to do that to me and freak out on me and say, you pull over when I pull you over, sir, I was trying to make your life easier and keep you safe. And if they freak out, it's like, okay, like,
Dave, why'd you get pulled over? That's my question. What did you do? I know you did something. Younger cat.
He targeted me.
He targeted me.
Targeted that big old bald head, Dave.
He targeted that truck. Why did he target you? Were you? Let me guess. You had something in your trunk or something, like in your bed of your truck for work.
You had like 5 chairs sticking out the
Work
side.
question: employers. Does taking salary instead of hourly benefit the employee or the employee? He was on
more.
Dave was on his phone, distracted
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah, you're
He's like
freaking driving over the curb in your truck. And
he said, I was Facebooking.
He's pissed. He's pissed that you're freaking texting and driving, and he can't pin it on you. And So then he probably thinks he turns his light on. Dave drives 2 miles down the road because he's on his phone and he doesn't see that the cop's trying to pull him over. So by the time he pulls into a lot, the cop's like, "Dude, I pulled you over 2 miles
He
ago."
just said he was wrong. I was on TikTok.
He said I was Facebooking.
Oh, this is a good one, Joe. This is a good one. I like this question. This is a good one. To go on. Work question: employees, employers. Does taking salary instead of hourly benefit the employer or the employee more? That is a great freaking question. Let's go. Can we go with Isaac first?
Yeah,
because you and I probably have more experience in this. Go ahead.
So salary would benefit you more because when it comes to using qualifying income.
No, we're not talking about mortgage.
Oh,
she's just talking about
the benefit
yeah, she's not talking about mortgage.
But in terms of a mortgage, it benefits you to go salary instead of hourly because if you work hourly and like around the wintertime, you take less hours, the salary would still be used every single time.
So what did you say? What's your answer to that salary? What is a salary? Let's do it this way. What does a salary benefit an employee or an employer?
I would say it benefits employee.
A salary.
Yeah.
Okay.
That has more benefits in my eyes, salary over hourly.
Joe.
If it's high enough.
So I'm going to go, like somebody answered, it depends on if they're smart, and that's the same answer on both of them. So if you needed to cap liabilities, then hourly is better for the employer because if you have, you can't take a salaried person, and if business isn't there, be able to reduce your liability at every point. If it's hourly,
can't cut hours if you're salaried.
Exactly.
Right. Which is in turn a benefit to employees.
Yes. And then so salary would be that you're not confined to work schedule where you can get more production hours out of someone on a salary than you could if you had to pay somebody by hourly.
That's the way I look at it. A salary. Now again, I have had a salary like one time in my entire life. I've always been commissioned, right? I felt a salary, I was more tied to the job, and I had
to go in.
I had to go in.
I had parties.
Right. If they say, "Hey, I need you to come in on Saturday," I'm getting paid the same salary regardless.
Right.
And the definition, and I know there were some lawsuits with like in banking because the banks try to make loan officers salaried employees, but there's a definition by the government and by the IRS, which is salaried employees versus hourly employees.
Right.
Yeah.
And like a salaried employee has to be like a management position or different stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't make an assembly line worker a salaried employee and make him work 80 hours a week.
Right.
Like there's rules
Right.
to that, right?
But then the other thing is a salaried employee shouldn't be taking phone calls at 9:00 at night like loan officers
that's
do.
exactly right.
So then
too.
that's why they got their butts sued in, because then they had to pay out all the
Right.
loan officers
And-
for all the hours they worked over.
And I get into it with a certain teacher. Sometimes, not to say any names, I get into it with a certain teacher.
Of one of your boys or what?
A certain teacher that I'm very close to who
Oh.
there it is.
Oh.
There it is.
Light bulb.
There it
Took
is.
me a minute.
There it is. Because this
Luke's
teacher
married to a teacher.
this teacher works nights. She works on grading papers. She's supposed to be off during the summer, but she's prepping her classroom.
Mhm.
She's prepping stuff. She's using our money to buy classroom supplies. She's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's a salaried employee
Yeah.
and she's working all the time. She's talking to parents at 6:00 at night. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you should be getting paid for all this.
Yeah.
And
100%.
according to her contract, she shouldn't have to do that.
As a taxpayer, I don't think she should.
You make sure you.
She works for me. She's a let's be honest. She's a slave to the state.
Let's tell her that next time.
She's a slave to the. She's a slave to
She
the
will punch
taxpayer.
you in the throat.
She's a
And
slave
from
to the
a
taxpayer.
psychological standpoint, let's just say you had an employee that was on hourly and you had an emergency pop up at 7:00 in the evening. Calling them out and paying them $20 to come out to do something that then robs them of 3 hours would be hard to justify. But psychologically, if you pay them salary, they would just do it and they wouldn't like cut it down and allocate it based on an hourly
in
deal.
an hourly thing, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, if you're overtime, like an hourly, you have to make overtime, right? If you're hourly, I think it's like legally,
right.
you have
anything
to.
over X amount of hours,
Right? Because I remember getting into it when I was a summer employee at one of the local landscape companies. They banked our hours, didn't pay us overtime. So it was so illegal. So we'd work like 80 hours in a week. And then they'd work, they carried it over. And then they would pay us checks into November and I'm like, you guys owe us like time and a half. He's like, yeah, no, we don't do it that way. I'm like, I was like,
So then that's when you got paid for all those hours eventually, right?
eventually I got paid,
Yeah.
but they avoided paying me time and a half and overtime.
For
I mean,
the
it was
longest
bull
time.
crap.
Yeah. Okay. So Sarah says, good question. But say I work 20 extra hours, that's 20 hours of overtime. How do I negotiate that? So that's the thing with a salary. It's
You
harder to
don't.
negotiate. You don't. You
That's
are
why
working that time. So that's when I see people online arguing it all the time. My contract says my salary pays me from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah.
If you are making me stay till 6, I do not have to work that hour under my contract, which says I work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you will pay me overtime or I will end at 5.
But then the
Because
problem is
that's what my
but
contract
the
says.
problem is that company's going to make something up
Right.
and fire you.
Yeah.
Or in Ohio,
Yeah.
I think they can fire you no matter what
for any reason,
for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
except for discrimination. That's the
Except, yeah, they can fire you for, you don't want to work? Fine, you're fired.
Yeah.
Sue me.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So, Sarah, what we suggest is you make something up that they are discriminating you against and don't get fired.
That's terrible advice. We don't do that.
We suggest you make something up, get fired, and then sue them.
Sarah, there's one thing I know that you have that I'm not going to say online that you could use against them if you had to and say that they're being
I almost said something so
stereotypical.
terrible. I almost said something so terrible. That was so terrible.
So
I almost said something so terrible.
Kaylin says salary is a good deal if you have a good employer like Joe Danyi, who doesn't abuse your time. Listen, Kaylin, I would like to say that Joe treats you a little bit differently than he treats me. This morning, he called me and said at 7 a.m., wake up, MFer, get into the studio. You have a podcast to do, or else you will come to the studio or I will come out to South Range, get you out of bed and drag you to this studio, you little piece of garbage.
And the weirdest thing is we're not even paid.
No, we're not even, I'm not paying anything. He's like, I need content and you will make content. I'm like, yes, sir.
Kellen gets an extra $50 for the compliment, and I'm deducting $50 from you.
Joe, I'm not even, hate to break it to you, I'm not even paid, Joe.
You're negative getting
Not
paid this
even
time.
paid.
Negative.
You think? Oh yeah,
You owe me
he's
$50.
gonna hold out
sir.
on this. We won't be able to get our
And and I wonder why there's not ice in this studio.
because he's busy paying. He's busy paying her.
Yeah, he's busy paying her extra money. And he's
Why
like,
doesn't
sorry.
can she come on our show sometime? She seems
Heck
nice.
yeah.
She seems
She
nice.
is she is a great debater.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very intelligent. She carries the conversation very well. So you guys gotta have fun with
Like
her.
myself, she is a master debater.
Master debater.
Master debater.
Sarah says, interesting, but what about this no taxing on overtime? Yes,
I like
anything
that.
over 40
Do you
hours
like
is
that?
time
I
and a
love it.
half.
I think that's
Love
great. No taxing on tips, no taxing on overtime. 100%. I think that's a good way. I 100% agree with that.
So all in verbiage in the contract. Only
Yeah,
pants,
all in-
here I come. Sarah, there you said it. Cancer, but yes, Sarah, I know that you have that and you've posted about that, and I would totally say stop. You're firing me because I have cancer.
I almost said something totally different than cancer. But I was going to say just because she's a girl,
She's a female.
she's a female.
Yeah, you're firing me because I'm female.
because I have a
Yeah, you have an out.
yeah,
you have an out.
exactly.
You guys are making this world worse.
An hour at a time every Tuesday. We're making this world work.
As a white male, I have absolutely nothing, and I am the devil.
Well, you're entitled.
I am an entitled, privileged piece of garbage,
Um,
and I have absolutely nothing to work with.
Yeah, I don't know. I just so anyways, like talking about like the Democrats. So Trump wants to eliminate, or one of his things he's proposing. I don't know if he'll ever do it. He might just be freaking talking.
Yeah.
Eliminate taxes on overtime, tips. Was there anything else?
There was
Overtime
no
tips?
tax on Social Security, which I don't know why they tax Social Security. That's the dumbest freaking thing I've ever seen.
Well, I know
Yeah.
why they want the money. I mean, that's
Right.
easy, right?
Right.
So who could possibly, living in this United States of America, be against not taxing overtime, Social Security, and tips?
100%. Yeah.
Like,
Get rid of it.
but the only people that are going to be against it are going to be the politicians,
100%.
correct?
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean, that's it. Who
Yeah.
else?
They're
Like,
addicted to that tax money. They
yeah.
want more
Who
of it.
else? Who
Yeah.
else would be against it?
Yep.
I mean, there's just no way.
Ahead,
read that one, Isaac.
Brad says, my paycheck for my salary shows 40 hours per week. I used to work 50 hours. My pay is based on our monthly revenue and unfortunately has lowered significantly in the last couple of years. So I just straight up told my boss my paycheck shows 40 hours. And from now on, I am working 40 hours per week. What more out of me, or want more out of me, pay me more.
Wait, so my paycheck for my salary shows 40 hours per week. I used to work 50 plus. So were you clocking in and out or no? That would be my question.
And the
Like,
other thing is, it's your pay is based on your monthly revenue.
so that's almost
The
like a
company's
commission job.
monthly. Yeah.
Commission rather than
That's
hourly.
is that a
Yeah,
commission?
oh, I'm
Brad, is that
working-
commission then?
Yeah, I'm working 40 hours no matter what in that situation. I am always clocking in because you're basically a commission employee. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and if it takes you 50 hours to get 40 hours worth of commission, that makes sense. If you work 40, you might only get 30 hours of commission.
Wait, what?
So he's working 50 hours and he's
Wait,
getting
what?
paid 40 hours based on revenue. So he's getting 40 hours of commission, but it takes him 50 hours to get the revenue to get 40 hours worth of commission.
All
Yeah.
salary jobs I've had to show
40 hours
So
per
that's
week.
like clock. You still have to,
Yeah.
even though you're a salary, you still
That
have
would
to
be
clock in
hourly.
and out.
Yeah,
Right.
you
So
still
that's
clock in.
hourly then.
But then what you can do as a salaried employee is I would negotiate with my employer. Listen, you want me to stay over? That's over 40 hours per week. My contract says 40 hours per week. I am working 40 hours per week. I am not coming in on Saturday.
Yeah.
My contract does not say I have to go to that party on Saturdays. Unless it does.
Jeremy, call in and explain this to us, please. Call in, Jeremy.
Brad Silvers, no clocking in for salary.
But they're keeping track of your hours though. Call in.
The contract that he signed that says he gets the money states
He's
you
only
work
working
40
40
hours a
hours,
week,
but
Yes.
he's going to work 80.
But they make him work 80. But I would negotiate. I would be the one negotiating. But Jeremy's probably
that's
too
bull
nice.
crap. See,
Yeah.
that's crap. But
100%.
I bet everybody does that though. Where they're going to say, "Hey, I need you to do this."
Because
I
if
need
not,
you
they'll
to
be
do
like,
that."
"You're not listening to us." Well, no, I'm not. It's not that I'm not listening to you. It's that I signed a contract that says I will work Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, and now you're making me work 70.
But the problem is, in the state of Ohio, that company can fire you for not doing it.
But I would bring so you'd have to have money and you'd have to get a stupid lawyer and you'd have to sue.
I don't think
Well,
it matters.
what about that banking thing? If you work something seasonally and maybe you get paid for 40 hours, but you only work 20, but then they bank the 8-hour a week to fill in the rest of the year.
Here comes. All right, hold on. This has got to be stupid, Jeremy.
Can I go pee real quick? I have to pee so
Yeah, I'll
bad.
sit in for you.
Where's your key at?
It's on the dowel rod over.
The fact you have a key here is amazing. Hello, this is Lou. Oh, Jeremy, I see your note, you dick. Oh, sorry, that's 10,000. You just got me fine, Jeremy. All right.
This isn't Jeremy. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty.
Shut up.
Betty,
Dude,
Betty, sister butt.
so do you, Jeremy,
Anyway,
do you clock in and out?
nope. No salary job I've ever had is how you punch in and out.
So no, but they still keep track of your hours.
No, it's just if you work 80 hours, you get paid. I mean, your pay stub's always going to say 40 hours.
So your
I mean,
pay
think
stub
about your
still says the
salary.
hourly based on-
Let's say your salary is 80 grand a year. You know, you divide that up by 52 weeks. You get the same paycheck every week. That's how salary works. That's how salary's always been. So you have to have an hours worked on your paycheck. So it's always just going to be 40 hours.
Right.
But at the flip side, if I work 32 hours that week, it's still a 40-hour check. You know,
How often do you work 32 hours instead of over 40?
well, I mean, like my job's a little different. You know, like if you get like days off during the summer after July 4th kind of thing, like that aren't part of your vacation. I mean, we get it quite a bit.
Right. Yeah.
But in June, we work
You're
a ton
also
of hours.
working crazy.
You know, we
hours
get a ton of
before.
hours in June, but then we get it back.
Yeah, I was gonna say you also work where we don't see you for like 3 months because you're so freaking busy going up to the 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, which, you know, I mean, luckily for me, I work for a place that the owner, you know, appreciates it and gives us back some time, you know.
Right.
So, but a lot of places, like when I was my previous employer, it was a 50-hour week, pretty much mandatory. There was no, we're going to give it back to you. It was just part of the gig, you know. So you just got to kind of think of that when you're negotiating your salary. The way I've always
you
looked
got to
at it.
break it down in your head how much you're going to work and figure it out, right? Because you could make $100,000, right? But then you work freaking 90 hours a week. I mean, you're freaking making less than working at McDonald's. You know what I mean?
100%. Probably, like I remember, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I had a potential company recruiting me. Let's just put it that way. And I knew what the job would have entailed. You know, like to your point, yeah, my salary would have been bumped probably at the time. I want to say it was like 15 to 20%. It was a pretty significant salary bump, but I know damn well I would have been working 60 hours a week, pretty much the whole year, not a seasonal type place like I am now. So I had to take that into consideration. You know, Gracie was a junior in high school.
Oh.
So I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be missing all these big events. It's not worth the money. It's not worth the money to me, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, coming from us, because Isaac and I are commissioned and self-employed with the real estate stuff, and we're commissioned with the loan stuff. I think freedom is pay too for us.
100%. I think,
Sure.
I think money obviously is number one at the highest degree. Money is the most important thing, but then right below
It's
that
freedom.
is freedom. Right underneath that,
Yeah.
because you can only get paid so much before, if you hate your job, you're like, I don't care about the money. I can't do this anymore. My mental health is worth everything.
Right. I mean,
And then, no, I'm sorry, I got that backwards. Freedom's the most important.
you think freedom's most important?
Freedom's the absolute most important.
Really?
If I hate my life, I don't care how much money you pay me. I'm not doing the job.
You wouldn't be able to go into like an assembly line every day.
I would no, absolutely not. I worked the 9 to 5. I worked the 9 to 5,
Right,
and
no.
I hated sitting in the office.
Well, Jeremy, you go into the office every day, right? I mean, does that drive you crazy?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
No, it don't bother me. I mean, but I've been doing it my whole professional life. And to be honest with you, during COVID, we got to work from home, and I hated it.
Really?
I hated it.
See,
Really?
Like I'm
Yeah.
kind of a social person. Like I like the social aspect of being in the office. That's just me. But I know some people. I know a lot of this younger generation. They're not as social, and you know they want to sit at home by themselves. I like the mingling part of working in an office.
All right, we're gonna drop you because your voice has started to annoy me. We'll talk about this now.
All right, Luke sucks. Love you, Isaac.
Bye, Jeremy. Love you too, big guy.
Your voice, that was way too long. His voice was starting to
So
annoy me.
I think with me personally, I sit in the office from 9 to 5, and like whenever there's downtime, whenever it's like, okay, I'm sitting here, I am being paid to sit here and do absolutely nothing.
Right.
I've achieved all my goals that I was set for the day. Why can I not go to the gym right now? Why can I not?
Oh.
If I've done everything I'm supposed to do, why can I not go do whatever I want?
yeah.
So that's why I like commission, because it's like goal-based work. If I do everything I'm supposed to do and I make my money, I can do whatever the hell I want to do.
I left the local bank here. Well, actually, I got fired because I got in a fight with some people. But,
Right.
and was escorted out by HR and possibly security. But they had a problem with me. Now I was commissioned. 100% commission.
Right.
Sales manager, but 100% commission.
Right.
They had a problem with me not going into the office. I was like second highest producer while being a sales manager.
Right.
And they had a problem with me not going into the office.
Because Luke, you can do even more if you come into the office.
They just wanted me there.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm the second leading producer.
Right.
Like I
Right.
am beating 30 other people
Right.
working from a, well, you could do better.
No, you know what you do?
It's
You
like,
know
what
what
are
you
you
do?
talking about?
You know what my mind goes to? Okay, I'm going to go to the office for like 3 months, absolutely tank the crap out of my work so that I go into the office and it looks worse.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man, if I would just do what I was doing before, I'd probably get more business, right?
Well, I'm being dead serious. I am being dead serious. I get more done now
Right.
being able to do what I want
Right.
when I want, go golfing,
Right.
then I go work from home than I ever did when I went to the bank. Because when I went to the bank, I walk around,
Right.
I drink coffee.
Because
I get
everybody's
donut.
different.
Yep,
Everybody's
I couldn't
different. And
do
the
it.
thing is, like, if you're in a mental state where, at least with me, and I'm sure this is the same with you, if I'm in a mental state where I'm happy with what I'm doing,
100%.
so I am going to the gym, lifting, going for my run in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I'm literally the entire time I'm doing that
Working.
stuff. How can I be how can I
Right.
do better? How can I do
Yep.
this for my client? How can I be better? So by letting me be me, and
Yep.
it's that's the way to lead me is,
But-
hey, do what makes you comfortable. If you're in that mental state where you're going to do what's best for your clients, that's what I
But
want
when
you
it
to
comes to our jobs, though, I think our jobs are different. Like when we're comparing this back to the government stuff,
Right.
where there are people like Joe said, there are people going and working other jobs,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know, taking advantage of
Yeah.
working from home.
do. Yeah.
I don't think everybody can do work from home.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you like,
Yeah, and that's why I think of tailoring it to the person that's in front of you. You guys might be better producers when you're
Right.
given more freedoms, and
Yeah.
other people might be complete disasters if,
Right.
if someone's not looking over their shoulder.
Yeah.
So letting employers have all the tools in that arsenal to say this
Right.
person would do well under salary, they'll be happier. This one would be happier. with
Right.
that. So,
But there are totally ways, if I wanted to, I could totally do my job because all I do is talk on the phone all day
Yeah.
while also door dashing all day. If I really wanted
and you
to, you could totally do that.
you could.
And I did that when I was really
Dude,
broke, just starting out. I
I-
didn't have that many
I
clients.
went golfing for 3 hours yesterday.
Right.
I took 4 phone calls and I was emailing. Now,
Yeah.
people are like, well, that's miserable. I'm like, no, I'm also making money and golfing at the
Right,
same time,
right,
or I go
right.
fishing. You know what I mean? Like I'll
Yeah.
go fishing and have my phone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's annoying. But at the same point, so yesterday I'm golfing.
Yeah.
We were showing houses on Saturday night.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's kinda give and
I
take,
did a
but-
pre-approval last night at 9
Yeah,
o'clock at
exactly.
night when all I wanted to do was watch the NBA with my wife and my brother-in-law, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I have to
Gotta
go.
pay the
I have
bills.
to go. I have to
Gotta
go
pay the
do a
bills.
pre-approval right
But
now."
I don't think everybody's cut like that though.
No.
Where it's 9 o'clock, you shut off and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
well, I like you got a negotiated theme in this where, talking to the employer and saying, here's what I'm willing to do at
Right.
this price. And then you stick into your part of the bargain. I stick into my part of the bargain.
Right.
Everybody's happy.
But in terms of like qualifying to buy a house, which I said before, we are loan officers, we are real estate agents. Time and time again, I see employees that are hourly, like a concrete guy,
Yeah.
or somebody, electrician or whatever, that aren't salary and they're hourly. And then over the holiday or whenever it gets really cold or something happens and their hours get throttled down, that affects their ability to qualify for a mortgage. And they can tell me, hey, I make 40 hours, I do 40 hours a week, I make $20 an hour.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
It's gonna be an average.
they're going to take an average of your hours. So take that salary position because the bank asks no questions and goes by your salaried pay. Just try and negotiate for a higher salary.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we are at an hour and a half. This goes fast. Is it an hour and a half? It's like
Good fun.
faster than we used to do it at night. I don't know
Yeah.
why that is.
Yeah.
It's quick. It's quick. It's
Yeah,
quick.
I'm up. I drink my energy drink.
Is
before
that
I
what
came
it
here,
is?
And I
I think we're
it's-
more morning people.
I am 100% a morning person.
Joe,
my
do you
wife
have,
is
real
a
fast
night
before we
owl, but-
sidetrack? Do you ever stop working?
No.
You don't. You're
But I'm like you guys where I'll pepper getting stuff done all day and all night. So it's not, I don't go into like 6-hour work sessions. It's like
Yeah.
an hour here, half hour there.
I can
all
always
the time.
promise I can text Joe at 5:30
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah.
And that little dude over, he's gonna text me back
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
I
I'll tell you
know
what
for
though,
a fact.
Joe is pretty. I feel like sometimes you shut your phone off if you're spending time with your family.
I
and
do.
You're like, I'm not doing
Yep.
it.
Sacred time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get really
Yeah.
annoyed when you don't respond. respond to my text messages.
You
Yeah.
get angry.
It's not angry. I just know you're with your family and you're ignoring me, and I get jealous.
That's
I get jealous when
once
Joe doesn't
again,
respond. I
You're
know.
controlling.
I like Joe hasn't responded.
Yeah.
And then it just makes me mad.
I don't know why you guys think Joe's. I call him sometimes. He just yells at me. He just screams at me. He says, "Why are you calling me, Isaac? You little shit." And I'm like,
You're negative
Joe.
$50 for lying.
I'm like, Joe.
Negative
I just want to ask you a simple question. I don't care. I don't have time for you, little loser.
What if Joe is just mean to just you?
Yeah.
Like nobody else.
I know everybody keeps saying Joe's a really nice guy, but I don't think
Just
he's all
you.
that great.
Just you.
He's kind of mean, and I'm probably going to get punished for bringing this up on the internet.
As
Wait.
soon as we shut this off, he's gonna be, hey, Luke, I'll see you later. Like shakes my hand. Isaac, just hold back for a second.
Yeah,
I
let's
leave. He's like,
talk.
you son of a, you
I run out of here crying because he just backhanded me. I'm just kidding. Joe has never been mean. Joe called me the other day and was like, Isaac, I got this real serious. Isaac, I got this business idea. I want to run it by you. It's actually the business idea of the show. And I'm like, Joe, I don't think you quite understand. I would go to war for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't think you quite understand. You asked me to do something, I would do it immediately. I
Yeah.
would die on the hill
Yeah.
for you, Joe.
100%.
I love you again. I just got rid of the debt you owe me.
Yeah, there you go. See.
Okay.
I'm just
So, all right. So we'll be back.
Actually,
we will be back Thursday at 9:00 again. This is good. I'm doing this every Tuesday, Thursday.
yeah, let's do it.
Every Tuesday, Thursday. We'll be back. Appreciate the one call we got. Someday we're gonna get more calls. It's
We got
gonna be
two.
great.
I think we got two today. We
Oh,
got
we got
Sam
two.
and then
Yeah, we
Jeremy.
did
Does
just-
Jeremy count? I don't think Jeremy's almost like
and
a
I kind of
co-host.
ordered him
Right.
to call in.
Yeah.
Too.
Right.
So
We got one.
But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Before we go, one last thing. Don't forget, Luke and I, we're loan officers, we're real estate agents. We are in Youngstown studio. If you want to start a podcast, call Joe. He'll help you set it up and you can be a host down here during our show. Yeah, we're loan officers, real estate agents. Call us if you need financing. Call us if you need a mortgage. We'll help you. And thank you for tuning in. We will see you Thursday.
Bye.
Bye everybody.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook.